your destiny. TheorySabers.com.
Maybe that might have been the worst episode that we've ever had, hey? I think that was just such utter amazing writing that, you know, I have never witnessed such greatness before in Star Wars. I feel like that was the best Star Wars that we've had so far with Disney, and I'm really happy that they turned this show around to make it such a cohesive experience and storytelling and character arc. And, you know, like, I stand corrected, man. You know, Leslie Headland, she outdid herself on this one. I mean, the writing was even more shocking than ever before.
We need to be going up, not down.
And I feel like, you know, that's a pretty hard thing to do, considering this whole season is just such an absolute split personality of every episode is just so convoluted and confusing that it just does not make any sense whatsoever. I mean, not only do the characters not even know what they want, and I mean all of them. I mean, Kymir's killing, then all of a sudden he wants Osha, then they have some sort of like a weird sexual tension, and which is so strange that he like kidnaps this girl and takes her to this island, and it's just very, I don't know, weird. Then we have, I mean, this episode alone, I'm still having a hard time getting over the fact that he's standing there, and she thought it would be a good idea to write that, yeah, it's going to be this really cinematic moment with a lot of tension and emotion where he's trying to hold the bridge for these two, like, 50-pound girls to stand on it, instead of just picking them up both with the Force and then bringing them to him. He's literally using the Force to hold the bridge up. Lets go of one of them, the other one falls. Instead of just using the Force to hold her, which would have been like, okay, all right, he's doing it with one. He literally runs like a regular human and tries to grab her at the last second. Please, someone defend that. Please, somebody defend that. I'm like, oh, didn't George change things? George understood the world and the confines that he created within Star Wars. This show is constantly just breaking lore. He doesn't understand the Force, doesn't understand anything to do with the characters, how Jedi work, how they operate. What the hell? Who are these Jedi? They're also emotionally confused. All of them, every single one of them. It just does not Jedi are supposed to be composed. The only one that wasn't composed was Anakin Skywalker, and that's why he stood out. But these Jedi, what the heck? They're running amok, man. I mean, the Soul guy is just like, oh, her M count is in. Oh, what is it? Oh my God.
I've encountered divergence in the Force.
Divergence, you say?
It's just such a ridiculous show. This is probably the worst Star Wars project I have ever seen in my entire life. I would rather watch 50,000 hours of Andor's bricks and screws, which, mind you, all I said in that comment was literally, oh, it doesn't really look like Star Wars. There's bricks like from a construction site and screws like a Phillips screw head, which George never had in those. It was all smooth sandstone. It was all that stuff. Of course, the people who want to defend the projects always like try to find something there to twist my words. But with this, I mean, I don't even got to say anything. If you defend this, man, hats off to you, dude. This is you're doing probably a better writing job and coping job than Leslie Headland did when she was writing the story, because I don't think she even knows what the hell is going on. This is just so ridiculous, dog. This is just so ass, just complete ass. $180 million. Wrap your head around that. Revenge of the Sith was 114 million. Revenge of the Sith, this was 180 million. They couldn't even get the green screen right when the guy was using the speeder bike. What in the world? Like, I'm just getting more and more frustrated because this is just so laughable. And I just, you know, it's like with each episode that goes by, the shills have to do an even harder job to cope and try and explain the story. Dude, and look, if you like the show, more power to you. Enjoy it. But don't try to shut someone up that is spitting fact about how this story just goes completely against George Lucas Star Wars, destroys the Phantom Menace, and destroys what the Jedi are supposed to be anyway. Oh, these aren't the Jedi of the Phantom Menace. Well, this is 87 years before that. So please tell me what happened that the Jedi have changed so much in only 87 years. That's like the year, that's the age of a grandfather. Like, you're telling me thousands of years of Jedi have changed that much in this short amount of time? I mean, it's just, the level of cope is unbelievable. Like I said, I will bring anyone on this channel and debate with them how this show is just such utter trash and makes no sense whatsoever.
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
What do you guys think? What do you rate it out of 10? Let's see some numbers. Please explain how this resulted in Torben committing suicide. Yeah, that too. I didn't even think of that, dude. I got other things to freaking ponder about with this episode here. How are you feeling about Skeleton Crew? I don't know anything about Skeleton Crew. They haven't even told us anything. 79% say this was a 0 out of 10. 9 to 10 out of 10. Well, I'm glad 4% of you liked it. And look, to anyone who liked the show, I'm happy you liked it. Happy you liked it. Anybody who sees someone liking the show, don't disrespect them, don't dog them, and the vice versa. If you see someone that doesn't like the show, don't disrespect them, don't dog them. Everyone's got a right to their own opinions and what they like and what they don't like. This channel's ass. Hey, don't be mad, bro. Don't be mad that I'm spitting facts and I'm one of the only ones doing it when everyone else is just, this is great poo. I love it. And then as soon as someone said, dude, why are you guys eating shit? They're like, how dare you? What? Oh my God, it's so good. What the freak? Wake up, people. Wake up. How does this make sense? Please, somebody defend one of like the many plot holes in this whole show. And you guys know me, man. I was freaking supporting Mandalorian. I was supporting some of the other projects like crazy when other people were like, this is stupid. This is shit. What is this? This gets a green light and we don't get an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2 actually done right. You guys give $180 million for this and you give 90 to Obi-Wan Kenobi? Like, seriously, somebody up there got to get freaking canned. Don't deserve to be working at Lucasfilm. Ridiculous. Well, you know what? Lucasfilm ain't even what it used to be anymore. It's not even what George created anymore. It's just Disney now. It's something else. Did you notice the Padawans in the temple were doing the Annie-Obi spin while training? Well, I noticed that in this one too. I guess Anakin wasn't the only one. It's just, you know, it's like more shit in this episode is essentially trying to connect to Anakin Skywalker and tell us that that birth was not the first one. The whole thing that was so special and groundbreaking about Anakin was that he was a virgin in the Force. Qui-Gon came to him, I found a virgin in the Force. And everyone's like, a what? But just freaking 87 years before, they found a virgin in the Force that the Jedi literally went to, and then they end up telling the council about it. Freaking dumbass witches created 2 Force-sensitive children from the Force. You don't want to know how Anakin was made? Let me tell you. Everyone thinks that Darth Plagueis created Anakin. No, it's false. Darth Plagueis tried to create, with Palpatine, by influencing midichlorians to create the perfect Force-sensitive being, a dark side Force user. He failed. The Force said, no, you cannot do that. You cannot manipulate the Force to your will and create something that is an abomination, that favors the dark side. So what the Force did, was it created Anakin Skywalker randomly in Shmi. Anakin Skywalker is the Force's answer to Plagueis trying to manipulate it to create the perfect dark side being. Plagueis never created anything. Never created Anakin. The Force moves on its own, and if the Jedi are smart enough, they'll listen to it, and they'll move with it. Symbionts, as Qui-Gon says. This is what happens when you have someone who does not understand shit about Star Wars. And maybe, you know what, Leslie understands like 1 to 2 points above what someone who has never seen Star Wars understands, or maybe someone who watches The Mandalorian, and maybe she's impressive to them. But my God, if you're making, what, end credit music? What do you mean? I keep saying end credit music. What do you mean? Yeah, it's some witch bullshit. I don't know. It's not. Yeah, the end credit music is crap. I just love Star Wars so much, and it just pains me to see this shit. And anyone who defends this, I really don't think that you are a fan of George Lucas Star Wars. I really don't. I really, really don't. You can enjoy this and say like, yeah, okay, fine. But like, if you think that this is now coming in and it's replacing the Phantom Menace essentially, so that everything that Qui-Gon found and everything that the Jedi went through in the Phantom Menace is essentially null and void. What do you mean it's modern pop music? It is modern pop music. What is this shit? Listen to this. I'm gonna put a few seconds of it. If they copyright the stream, whatever. Nice. Flashbacks this late into a season are such a mistake. Some of these characters have been dead so long, it's impossible for us to care about them now. Well, what they should have done was they shouldn't have made this a flashback. This should have been episode 4. 100%, this should have been episode 4. And they should have just incorporated this into how, you know, the witches die and all that stuff. Like, they should have just kind of chopped that and put it at the end of episode 4. Or even put this as episode 3. I mean, now we know why the audience score was removed. Yeah. Literally. You know I just do these Acolyte watch parties for you guys, right? Like I don't enjoy them anymore. I just do them to hang out with you. Not that I'm defending the show, but didn't they say this place is of virgins, not the girls? Wouldn't that be different from Anakin, who was a 1? No, they're still pulling on the virgins thing. Qui-Gon went to the council and said, I found a virgins in the Force. And then they're saying it here that they found virgins. This place is a virgins. It's a virgins. Whatever it is a virgins in the Force. She's just taking shit. She's unimaginative, uncreative. She's just taking shit from Frozen and whatever other media that she said she wanted to create for her own therapy session of her and her sister or whatever it was, and creating this now Star Wars project, taking from the Phantom Menace, pulling from the threads of the Phantom Menace, and then trying to connect a little bow tie so it looks like it comes before episode 1. It's bullshit. So done with this garbage ass show. One more week, done. Can anyone tell me exactly why the Jedi are the bad guys here? At least I got to watch this shot with good company. So the Jedi are now the murderers and oppressors, and they're coming in to kill these witches because, like Anasea said, the world doesn't accept women like us or some shit like that. Just more bullshit. So this is why Torben killed himself? Joke. Yeah, I would have thought he like did something totally horrible, like he like killed one of the witches or something. I could see Soul maybe killing himself, but not even, man. He was defending himself. I was gonna save them. She literally turns demonic. Literally turns demonic. And he's like, and she's like traveling towards Torben. Just, I was going to save them. Man, I love covering Star Wars and I want to be happy about it, and I want to break down and do theories, bro, and like I can't do any of that with this. Have you guys not noticed I haven't made a single video for a week? Because like any video I'll make is just going to be me shitting on the show, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just not really in the mood for that. Like I'll, you know, do a couple where I'm like, this is bullshit. But beyond that, like, it's just beating a dead horse. Still May's fault. Her actions alone blew up the whole temple. I actively belly laughed at the D-tag if all the witches, 1 killed 50. Yeah, what the freak? What was with that, man? How did all the witches die? How did they all die? Did Trinity kill them or something like that? I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't remember her name. Did Trinity kill them? Like, she freed Kelnaka, she broke their connection to Kelnaka, and somehow that killed them? What lazy ass writing is that? So stupid. I mean, that's literally worse. I never thought I'd say this, chat. That's literally worse than Luke Skywalker dying, than how they did it in the shit Last Jedi movie. It's literally worse. How the hell? You just break the connection. Oh, the tether is broken. Like, okay, they can't mind control him anymore. All right, fine, done. But they break the connection and like, so he's alive and then they die? They just all drop dead? Well, that's convenient. That's good writing for you.
Oh my god! Oh jeez, oh my god!
Oh, so it looks like they all died. Otherwise, what are you going to do if they're all alive? How are you going to essentially do that? Well, the Jedi could kill them. They could die or burn up in the fire. You could have other ways that they die if you have to kill them off. So lazy. Oh, I know. Let's just have them drop dead. Get real. This is made by amateurs. Wait, that was Star Wars? That was not Star Wars, no. Probably foreshadowing a remake of the 6 films. Probably. No, but you know what she's doing, though? This show literally makes me passionate to talk about how much it destroys the lore of Star Wars. And please, anyone on Twitter, anybody on Twitter that would like to come on the channel, I will give you airtime, and you can say your spiel about how you think this show is so great and makes so much sense. Just know that that will not be a good moment for you, and it'll be clipped into oblivion. But we'll have a civil discussion, and then hopefully by the end of it, you'll realize that the show just destroys everything to do with the Phantom Menace. When it comes to Star Wars, the first 6 films, I feel like I know very, very well. When it comes to the prequel trilogy, I don't really know that many people that know it as well as I do. And I don't mean to be arrogant, but that is my bread and butter. And that is essentially what this channel was based on. When it comes to talking about the prequels, man, it just, I know my stuff. Bro, one-handed blocked a Wookiee Jedi Master. Dude, I saw that, and I'm like, are you serious? Not only can you not block a Wookiee Jedi Master if you're like this, but he's like this, and the saber is in reverse. And he's using his other hand, like, what? All I've seen on Twitter is that it's become such a political thing that if you like the show, then you essentially agree with everything that Nerdrotic, Critical Drinker, myself, Geeks and Gamers, Jay, everybody else agrees with. And if you do like the show, then that means you are super left-leaning. That means you are agreeing with inclusivity and all this and that. And I'm here to say that all of that is, as a Canadian, I'm here to say that all that is such bullshit. It's just about a show. It's just judged on the writing, nothing else. Don't make it political. Don't look at it as some sort of a political box that you get thrown into if you like or you don't like a show. It's utter bullshit. Learn to just make shows about shows and not some sort of political thing for, like, I don't know why Americans are so obsessed with politics anyways. What are the chances this trash gets a 2nd season? Yeah, I don't think so at all. But, you know, they got money to burn, so they could. They probably would just do it to, like, put it in the faces of fans. It got amazing reviews. It's like, yeah, well, everyone wants to watch a train wreck. Of course people are going to watch it. Are they buying the merch for it? No. I think we all should agree that we treated The Mandalorian Season 3 too harshly after the shit show Acolyte episode. No, Mandalorian Season 3 was also ass. Better than this, but it was still a garbage. You remember Lizzo and Jack Black? Bullshit. The actor playing the Sith said he should retire after this because his performance was so good. What? Didn't she say, you remember what she said? She's like, review bombing is a thing. We were expecting to be review bombed. Well, why aren't other projects review bombed? Why wasn't The Mandalorian Season 1 or 2 review bombed? Why aren't any of the prequel trilogy films review bombed? Or the original trilogy films review bombed? Why wasn't Rogue One review bombed? Or Andor, for that matter? Maybe because they're not review bombed, Leslie. Maybe because the show is just shit. Have you ever thought of that? That maybe you created something that a lot of people just don't like. I love this way of thinking. It is so hilarious to me. It's like, well, there's no way that I could create something where I could be in the wrong, or something that people wouldn't like. Everyone would love everything I create because I'm surrounded by yes men. It's just a bunch of haters and bots that review bomb it. If people truly love something, they're not going to review bomb anything. And believe me, if truly people love something, there are going to be more upvotes than downvotes. Like, what are they trying to do, or where do they want to go with it? Well, she's essentially, in my opinion, creating something that interjects right before episode 1. So she's taking episode 1, moving it here, creating a new timeline, and then filling up her shit so that when episode 1 happens, the reason the Jedi act a certain way is all because of the crap in this show. And she's stated that. She's literally stated that, and that's a video that I have coming out in the next couple days. Just in an interview. She's like, oh, you know, maybe, you know, when the Jedi see Anakin and they refuse to train him, it's because of, they'll remember because of the events that happened in this show. Also, let's be honest, a lot of people could just be hating on it because she is the former personal assistant to Harvey. No, I truly believe that if people really loved this show and it was, like, really well done, no one would frickin' even take that into consideration, because we're here for Star Wars fans. We're not here to get political. At least we aren't, this group. So I really think if this was like an absolute banger of a show, like it created something like the Old Republic cinematics where there was story, good fighting, it felt like Star Wars, no one would ever mention that. Nobody would ever mention that shit at all. So, you know, maybe some people would, but it would not detract from the reviews. It wouldn't take away from how people feel about it.
Join me, my apprentices, and we will revel in the fall of this show. For it is not Star Wars, it is some perversion. They tried to tell us that Anakin was not the first virgins in the Force, but rather witches. Witches I have never come across before in all my years as a Sith Lord. This show and its writers are an abomination. They must be wiped out from Lucasfilm and never to create Star Wars again. Yes. You see, when my master told me about the Force, he never instructed me about the thread. The thread will be what saves us all. If only I had told Anakin about this, perhaps he could have saved Padme. Oh no, my young apprentice. I'm afraid the thread will be quite operational when the witches arrive.
Love you guys. I hope you have a great day. Go to theorysabers.com. It's alright, we'll make it right, man. Vader episode 2 and 3 coming. Love you guys.